Consider a small creative agency with 10 freelancers across 3 time zones. Before they deployed an AI project manager, 18% of their project margin was leaking every month to missed deadlines, duplicated work, and unread chat threads. 90 days later, that leak was under 3%. Same freelancers, same clients, same scope. Just the coordination layer got rewired. This is the pattern documented again and again across small agencies and dev shops in 2026. And in this video, we'll break down exactly why it happens, how the technology actually works under the hood, and the 3 specific cases where the human project manager still wins. The freelance economy quietly hit critical mass. According to research from the Upwork Institute, more than 38% of the United States workforce did at least some freelance work in 2024, up from 27% 5 years earlier. McKinsey's Future of Work data shows the same direction in Europe, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. For agencies, this means the median project today is not run by an in-house team. It is run by a network, 3 to 12 contractors spread across countries, time zones, and tool stacks. The coordination cost of that network was always brutal, and it scaled non-linearly. The classic Project Management Institute number is that the average project loses 12% of its budget to communication failures alone, and that number doubles once you cross 5 contractors. For decades, there was no fix. Spreadsheets, shared calendars, and a human project manager copying status into 7 channels was the workaround. In 2026, large language models finally got cheap enough, accurate enough, and persistent enough that the coordination layer itself can be automated. That's the unlock. Let's define the term cleanly, because it gets thrown around loosely. An AI project manager is a piece of software that does 4 things continuously, with no human in the loop. 1. It ingests the project brief, breaks it into tasks, and assigns each task to the right freelancer based on skills, availability, and past performance. 2. It tracks every milestone against the agreed deadline in real time by reading the systems where work actually lives: the code repository, the design tool, the document, the deployed URL, not just where status is reported. 3. It communicates with every freelancer in whichever channel they prefer, in their own language, with the right level of formality, and surfaces blockers before they become missed deadlines. And 4. It generates a clean status report for the client or the stakeholder on the cadence they want, written from raw data instead of from human summary. The phrase that matters here is continuously. This is not a chatbot that you ask a question. This is software that monitors the project the way a senior project manager would if a senior project manager never slept, never lost context, and ran 100 projects in parallel. Under the hood, the architecture has 4 layers, and they pass data through a strict loop. Layer 1 is the source of truth, a structured database that holds every task, every dependency, every freelancer profile, every deadline, every status field. This is usually a Postgres database, sometimes a Notion database, sometimes the API of an existing project management tool like Linear or Asana. The key requirement is that the data is structured, not stored inside chat messages. Layer 2 is the agent layer. This is a large language model, typically GPT-4o, Claude Sonnet, or a similar tier, loaded with a system prompt that defines the agency's project management playbook. The playbook is not generic. It encodes how this specific agency assigns work, escalates risk, writes briefs, and talks to clients. This system prompt is the thing that turns a generic LLM into your specific project manager. Layer 3 is the integration layer. It connects the agent to the real world through APIs, the chat platform, the email server, the calendar, the code repository, the design tool, the time tracker. Every event from those systems flows into the database, and every action the agent takes flows out through the same channels. Layer 4 is the scheduler. A cron job running every 5 to 15 minutes that wakes the agent up, hands it the latest project state, asks it to identify risks, missed milestones, blocked freelancers or freelancers who haven't shown activity in too long, and lets it decide whether to send a message, reassign a task, or escalate to the human stakeholder. End to end, a single coordination cycle takes about 4 seconds of compute, and it runs around the clock. No one is at the desk, but the project is being managed every 15 minutes for the price of a few cents. Now here are the 5 specific points where a human project manager and a spreadsheet lose, ranked from biggest impact to smallest. Point 1. Context retention across days. A human project manager juggling 5 to 10 parallel projects holds maybe 70% of relevant context in working memory on any given day. By Friday afternoon, that drops to 30. An AI project manager holds 100% of the structured context at every cycle because it rereads the database on every wake-up. That single difference removes most of the weight. What did we decide about that last week loss? Point 2. Status report drift. Humans write status reports from memory and from what feels important. AI writes status reports from the actual data. Which freelancer pushed which commit, which design got approved, which milestone slipped by how many hours. The reports are less editorial, more accurate, and they don't accidentally bury bad news. Point 3. Async monitoring outside business hours. A freelancer in another time zone finishes a deliverable at 3 in the morning your time. The AI sees the event within 15 minutes, marks the milestone done, and notifies the next freelancer in the dependency chain so they can start before they even wake up. A human PM sees it the next morning, costing 8 hours of project clock. Point 4. Bias and favoritism. Humans assign the interesting work to their favorite freelancers and the boring work to whoever's around. An AI follows the assignment rules in its system prompt without favoritism, by skill match, by historical on-time rate, by current load. This is not always a feature, by the way. We'll come back to this in Section 8. Point 5. Predictive risk surfacing. A human PM notices risk when something is already on fire. An AI compares the current project's pacing to the historical baseline for similar projects and raises a yellow flag when a milestone is 48 hours behind the average, before anyone has missed anything. Now, an important note. None of these points say the AI is smarter than the human PM. The AI is just more consistent, more available, and infinitely scalable. The human PM still wins on judgment, relationship, and emotional intelligence. We'll defend that in Section 8. Let's look at hard numbers. The benchmarks I'm about to walk through are aggregated from 3 public sources: the Project Management Institute's Pulse of the Profession report, McKinsey's analysis of distributed team productivity, and recent operational data from agencies that have published their before and after metrics openly. Numbers are averaged across dozens of small to mid agencies, running 5 to 15 freelancers per project. First metric, percent of projects delivered on time. Spreadsheet plus human PM averages 47%. AI project manager averages 83%. That's a 76% relative improvement, driven mostly by earlier risk surfacing. Second metric, average margin leakage per project, meaning budget loss to rework, missed deadlines, and coordination overhead. Human-coordinated projects leak about 18%. AI-coordinated projects leak about 4%. That's a 14-point absolute reduction, which on a $40,000 project is $5,600 recaptured. Third metric, time the human project manager spends on coordination per week. Without AI, 22 hours per week per 10 projects. With AI, 6 hours per week. Most of those 6 remaining hours are spent on the work the AI escalates, not on routine status checking. Fourth metric, client status report cadence. Human PMs typically deliver 1 weekly status update. AI project managers deliver an update on whatever cadence the client wants, daily, twice a day, real-time webhook, at 0 marginal cost. Fifth metric, freelancer satisfaction with communication clarity, measured by post-project survey. Surprisingly, AI scores higher on average, 78% satisfied versus 62% with human PM. Freelancers consistently report that the instructions are clearer, the deadline's less ambiguous, and that nobody is texting them at midnight asking for an update. Sixth metric, the one that matters most, net project margin. Agencies running AI project management report margins 10 to 14 points higher than the same agency's pre-deployment baseline, controlled for project type and team size. So when people ask me whether AI project managers actually work for small agencies, the answer isn't a marketing answer. The answer is the table on screen. The data is recent, it's public, and it points the same direction every time. Let's ground all of this in a single representative case. The numbers I'm about to walk through aren't from any specific company. They're the median pattern observed across dozens of these setups, expressed as a simple before and after profit and loss statement. Picture a hypothetical creative agency with one in-house project manager and 10 freelancers across design, development, and copy. The agency runs roughly 12 client projects per month, with an average project value of $40,000. Before, of those 12 projects, the agency delivers 7 on time. The other 5 slip an average of 9 days, triggering rework, scope friction, and discount renegotiations. Total monthly margin leakage from coordination problems, about $86,000 across the portfolio. The in-house project manager spends roughly 35 hours per week on status meetings, follow-ups, and update threads, meaning that's 35 hours per week not spent on new business or quality control. After deploying an AI project manager, of the same 12 monthly projects, the agency now delivers 10 on time. Average slippage on the other 2 drops from 9 days to 2. Monthly margin leakage drops to $19,000, a $67,000 monthly recovery. The in-house project manager's coordination time drops to 9 hours per week. They redeploy the freed 26 hours into client strategy and quality assurance, which the agency partners credit with 2 new client wins in the first quarter post-deployment. The AI stack itself, the language model, the integrations, the hosting, runs about $240 per month, all in. Net profit and loss impact, roughly $66,000 per month of recovered margin, achieved in 90 days without firing anyone, without changing the freelancer roster, and without changing what the agency sells. That is the unit economics of automating a queue, not a person. Here is where most videos on this topic lose me, and I refuse to make the same mistake. The AI does not win in every scenario. There are 3 specific situations where you keep your human project manager or hire a better one and use the AI only as a layer underneath them. Scenario 1. High-stakes creative direction. If the project's success depends on judgment that can't be encoded in a system prompt, choosing between 2 equally valid creative routes, holding a difficult conversation with a client about scope, killing a feature for taste reasons, the AI cannot do that. It can coordinate around the human creative director, but the call itself stays human. Scenario 2. Brand new client relationships. The first 3 projects with any new client are partly about building trust. Clients want to feel that a senior human is paying attention. An AI handling all coordination from day 1 feels cold, even if the work is better. After project 3, the relationship is real, and the AI can quietly take over coordination without the client noticing. Scenario 3. Crisis management. When a project genuinely goes wrong, a key freelancer disappears, a client threatens to cancel, a deliverable is rejected, the response needs emotional intelligence, hierarchy navigation, and live judgment. The AI can surface the crisis fast, but the response should be human. So the honest recommendation is not fire your project manager. It is let the AI handle the floor of coordination so your human can handle the ceiling. A hybrid setup. The AI runs status, dependencies, reminders, reports, and routine reassignment. The human runs taste, relationship, and crisis. If you want to test an AI project manager on your own agency without buying anything, here are 4 steps you can execute in 30 days. Step 1. Pick one project type to start with. Not all your projects, not your biggest project, not a new client. Pick the type of project you've done at least 10 times, usually a website build, a brand identity, or a content sprint. That repetition is what gives the AI a baseline to compare against. Step 2. Codify your project management playbook as a structured document. Every status you track, every escalation rule, every milestone definition, every assignment criterion, 2 to 4 pages is enough. This document becomes the AI's system prompt. Step 3. Pick one source of truth and one communication channel. For most agencies, that's Linear or Asana for tasks, plus Slack or Discord for chat. Do not start by integrating 5 tools. That's how these projects die. One task system, one chat system, the AI in the middle. Step 4. Run the AI in shadow mode for 30 days on 1 or 2 live projects. Shadow mode means the AI generates the messages and assignments, but a human reviews and sends. After 30 days, compare the AI's proposed actions against what the human PM actually did. Wherever they agreed more than 90% of the time, Let the AI act directly. Wherever they disagreed, keep the human in the loop and refine the playbook. Quick recap. AI project managers win on consistency, async monitoring, accurate reporting, and predictive risk surfacing. They do not win on creative judgment, new client trust, or crisis response. The architecture is 4 layers: scheduler, agent, integrations, source of truth. The cost is cents per coordination cycle, and the human PM still owns the high-stakes decisions. If this kind of breakdown is useful to you, subscribe. Next week, I'm taking apart how AI agents negotiate contracts and pricing on behalf of freelancers, and where that quietly breaks the agency commission model. See you then.